No chance. And there it comes down. AVANGAR, this is your chance to get out of this 2-0 fairly fast. As they're starting there on the CT site. Comes down to MICHU and Co to show us what they're actually able to do. What will their performance be like? How bright that Polish star will shine. The metaphor game, on point as it could be. As we're having its first player to be taken out, that's KrizzeN. No chance to stay alive in that one. dimasick going to stay back at it. Only 4 players of AVANGAR alive, and the main focus shifts over to the B side, where Jame at the moment is alone with his teammate qikert. Ivy still held by Buster. The A side partially by dimasick, but it's all focusing down on the B side. qikert fully blind, doesn't see a thing, might lose his head fairly soon. Jame finds himself one onto byali. And that one Ivy player so far, Snax, isn't doing too much at it. dimasick finds himself MICHU as well. Snax doesn't need to be fast to finally be a good supporter in this. Acid bomb has been planted, one after another falls down, and certainly Snax' patience is relevant right here. Because if he can just now take him out one bit by bit, that works. He finds himself the first into Jame, but there on the top, it gets a little bit problematic right here. Snax is the only individual alive. Can he clutch it out? That is the case! Snax with a triple, and that is going to be Virtus.pro picking up the first. qikert, he's kind of wondering, how many goddamn HP can you have right there? And he says free. And when you read that number, you're probably not happy about it. There, qikert finds himself the first here onto Neo. Rather rotates back, stays on the 100 HP and says, no, I'm not interested anymore of your fun job there. Those Snax finds a too aggressive KrizzeN. Same goes for byali, getting dimasick. At that point in time, see Snax also finding Buster. So at that point in time, we're surely, and pretty surely, going to have ourselves a 2-0. The classic first 3 rounds should be on the board for VP. As qikert falls. As he falls, he breaks his ankle and falls on his face there in the end. Sad story. As an entry from him, was actually fairly nice. Jame finding also a good headshot onto MICHU. But it's hard to imagine Jame will get anything more out of this. As we're not sure. We're taking a look around. Is that AK still there? No, it isn't. The question logically is, where did he put it? As it seems to be that it only was a Mech 10. As my memory has pranked me once more, Jame will not even find himself that gun as it has been dropped down. Here he hears the steps. Snax is walking into the wrong direction while byali is coming from the site. 2-0 it is. And AVANGAR coming down to the eco. Jame saving up for the AWP. And MICHU and Co, at that point in time, on the right track to do it. As we see, Kazakhstan Circus has arrived. They're doing the classic pyramid. And as they're fully blind, that doesn't seem to work out in the end. The pyramid falls, the ground structures and pillars, they started to get crumbling and shaky. So that 3-0 is secured for VP. AVANGAR. At that point in time, it's the exact right moment. This is the round, where we should start to get going. KrizzeN tries to find himself a bit more of an aggression towards main for the moment. Goes rather now towards Pop Dog, where Neo doesn't find the right jump. And as that is the case, first player down for VP. You already had that kind of story back in the Force in round number 2. Jame have the right angle on this, and he should be quite exposed right now at that point. Jame falls. Snax is not to be stopped on a sight. 10 HP has left, but it's not enough to take him down in the end. Our stopping element here could be KrizzeN. As we say it though, byali finds him in the end, as at that point it looked like there could have been the opportunity to rather go up the ladder and Pop Dog, but that's not the case. byali and co, they're securing themselves the number 4. Sportster's running out of options besides finding frags. There shouldn't be much more to go for. Snax taken out as well. Now you should reconsider if you really want to aggress again. They have the money, actually. If I see it correctly. They actually have the money to try to go for a hunt, but they don't want to unnecessarily lose it. I'm not quite sure what KrizzeN is speaking here, what kind of language that is. As I'm convinced Virtus.pro does not speak Russian. And I'm quite convinced KrizzeN doesn't speak Polish as well. Maybe it was some fantasy language, I don't know. Either way, 4-0 it is, and AVANGAR, that buy is not so nice to have, to say it like this. To ZZs, you can still do a good job, and Jame on that AWP, excuse me, on the scout, the mini AWP, to say it like that, could make it work. Also though, has a Snax just directly beside him, that there as he shoots, exposed himself and didn't find himself a frag. Not the best of a situation. Buster uses that, but can find himself more. Just that one frag. So byali, MICHU as well as Pasha. Somehow need to do a job, and as it is the case, MICHU gained a good bunch of control. qikert is taken out. So the B site, it should be taken fairly soon. As we're talking about, though, with a beautiful shot onto MICHU, gets another one onto the body of byali, making the situation a little bit tricky for Virtus.pro. byali have just not the right kind of positioning to keep on surviving with the flames coming towards him. dimasick is there to get byali, and there the AWP from Papa himself needs to do it. There's no kit onto dimasick, and I'm quite sure he saw the bit off the body there. And there they go. That is number 5. It nearly looked like it could have been working for AVANGAR. But in the end, dimasick can only grab himself an AK from that round. That's the only thing he's getting himself there. With that 5-0 secure Virtus.pro, it's a little bit of a deja vu we're having here. Kind of, from Mirage. Deja vu always gives me a deja vu of good initial D. Either way, enough with initial D. Something you should watch, but something you should watch as well is right now we're on number 6 between Virtus.pro as well as AVANGAR. Buster and Co have to finally stop the momentum the Polish team is gaining. KrizzeN counterplays that flashbang instead of going back. He goes a little bit more towards it. Neo is taken out there in the end as 5.56 ammunition lands in his head. That means Virtus.pro only need to play with 4. The focus is definitely not going towards the B side at that point in time. AVANGAR have still a lone Jame back close to connector and B, whilst Buster finds himself Snax though. Could be the first one for AVANGAR. MICHU, byali, pasha himself to somehow prevail as a unit. There, pasha sees the hand, shoots it into KrizzeN. There, dimasick. It's taken out in the end. byali finds himself another one there onto qikert, and he could be just not stopped there. That is the 1 versus 1. Surprisingly, MICHU and only Buster are alive. As it looked like it could have been hella different there. Buster now needs to read this right, because he's staying back on the side of A. He got himself a kit, so the last second defuse is not too much of a problem for him though, but MICHU has a good bunch of opportunities right now to walk around the entire B site and find his favorite sweet spot. He has a Molotov, whilst Buster doesn't have a smoke. Make a retake more difficult 101. That's train B site. Buster with 58 HP. His initial situation is definitely not the best. The Molotov drops a little early there from MICHU. Buster thinks twice. He rather keeps that gun in his hands instead of taking the aggression. MICHU knows where he is right now, doesn't need to worry any more second. And Buster picks up that AWP for his teammate. That 6-0 is secured, and AVANGAR, once more round they could have won, where they had actually the man advantage, but they were somehow able to prevail. And there comes the pause from qikert, which seems to be extremely, extremely relevant. The last time I've talked to qikert, unfortunately I couldn't talk to him before this game, but he told me when they had Ramzik back in the team, they switched roles, that qikert is actually the IGL. And usually we know qikert, or more likely IGLs, are not the ones who are mostly such great fraggers, right? But whilst the time qikert was IGLing, he was also fragging fairly well. And then I asked him, was it because you're not such a strategic team? And he said, we're okay strategic. We're not the #1 team regarding that, but still can somehow always outplay our opponents if we do it right. Either way, 6-0. And VP on the right track to take this home flawless. As though MICHU is taken out, it might become a little bit more problematic right here. As that's 6-0. Something that is not only combined with the scoreline itself, but the entire momentum, the kind of speed that Virtus.pro is getting from something like this is just insane. Snax finding KrizzeN right now. Too aggressive a Buster is. And suddenly it's down to 3 versus 3. The entry was once more there for AVANGAR, but every time they get themselves the entry, they can't really make it work somehow. As Virtus.pro is not 100% sure where to move yet. Towards Pop Dog. Whilst pasha, his teammate Snax, checking every single corner of the A site. As cautious as you can be. But then you get the realization, okay, it's clear we can get that bomb down. And that will be just now the case. As Neo puts it down. Not sure if that sound of the flame inflicting damage of Snax has been heard. Now it needs to be dimasick, qikert, and Jame somehow cleaning this up. And that is qikert finding himself the first onto Neo. pasha's there onto dimasick. That means an AWP as well as an M4 somehow need to seal that deal in round number 7 to finally get the first one on the board for Jame as well as qikert. A tiny angle pasha looks, and a tiny angle he finds himself qikert. Jame rotating away. Another round where AVANGAR had the man advantage from start on. Another round where they had the opportunity to retake it in another round, they're losing. Virtus.pro on the 7th, and the economy of AVANGAR far away from beautiful. As it is somehow the Polish team recovering fairly fast from that loss they had on Mirage, accepting their defeat against a team that is just better on that map, and now showing us what they're actually able to do on train, and you have to give it to them. They're showing us really, really well what you can do on this map. 7-0 it is. They have a good opportunity to run even further with that. qikert, at that point in time, rotating back towards the B side as much as he can. Jame with an AWP. Show us the big stopping power. There's qikert with a double, taking down Snax as well as MICHU. Jame is onto byali as well. I would like to say there's no way of losing this round, but we unfortunately saw a few incidents where we had the same kind of scenario. pasha down to only 23. And pasha should not have any option in even surviving this round or finding any more frags. pasha, though, talking about it, finds KrizzeN somehow. 23 HP he has left on himself. dimasick going in from behind. Wall banging him down. There's the first one for AVANGAR. It took its time. And now they got free AWPs. A triple op setup. That is fairly unusual to see, but okay. I'm excited what AVANGAR is going to do. We're taking a look at it real quick. As dimasick, Buster, and Jame are carrying around. Buster going towards Ivy, Jame staying somewhere towards the A site. dimasick does the same. And I'm quite sure Virtus.pro does not expect a triple op setup when they're coming into this round and coming towards any of the sites. pasha whiffs the shot. He should have easily gotten. Snax there in close range though. Gained a lot of ground. Has the opportunity to flank the players when they're not expecting it. qikert finds himself Neo, and there we have it. Snax with a very good positioning. Opening up doors right here for the team. Snax onto not only one, he could get himself another one as well with qikert, as a single body shot could really out on the player. He's still on the ladder, wiggling around. But as it is only down to qikert, he finds himself Snax. 5 HP, and then you can use the AWP wisely. pasha finished it off together with MICHU. And that is something you don't want to see as a CT, when that could have been a point in time to build up a good economy. And there we have it. Triple ops equals no success. At least for the moment. That's what we could say. qikert and co. buying themselves some pistols, trying to make it work in the next round. But it's very, very bad right now for the Kazakhstan Russian sides. As Virtus.pro, the same way lads of AVANGAR did, it's taking control over and over again, just having the upper hand continuously with a little bit of stuttering there. The engine, the Polish powerhouse, the big plow is not to be stopped here on train. The weaponry, immense advantage. The armory, immense advantage. The utility, immense advantage. And I think we don't need to get started about the entire economic situation of Virtus.pro. It's not the best. It's still more than workable. So it comes down to AVANGAR. They still have the opportunity to deny those double digits, but it seems like they somehow don't really get into this game here on LAN. And they'll find themselves Snax. So we're gonna see what happens with that round. As they found themselves the entry frag. AVANGAR had that a few rounds before were not able to secure themselves any success. As they're moving out on the B site, an entire big cluster of Polish people want to conquer that bomb site. qikert is going to be the first one to see any of them, as there's going to be also Jane taken out. byali found by qikert as well. That is the Kazakhstan player in the end found by Neo, but still he's done his job fairly well. The smoke wall allows Neo to get that bomb down a quite open spot. And AVANGAR all approaching from one site. No one coming in from towards Pop Doc. So Neo and Pasha both have a good opportunity in taking this home. Neo doesn't see a thing, can still hide himself behind that wagon as there KrizzeN comes close. Pasha finds himself the collateral! That is KrizzeN and dimasick taken out in the most unfortunate situation it could be. Does Pasha clean it? Pasha cleans it! And that means the entire B site only belongs to Papa himself. 19-3. And the veteran, many call whitewashed, is doing it exactly right here for Virtus.pro. The double digits on the board. And AVANGAR economically down the drain. And Pasha is not to be stopped during this first half. As he though finds himself, KrizzeN byali is there to save his teammate.
Bomb has been planted.
And that bomb, once we're down, it's not looking brilliant at all for AVANGAR. Not a single second where he could think that this team had the opportunity to take the control. The first 3 rounds for sure, the classic kind of procedure. Jame taken out as well. It's not looking brilliant at all. I have that bad feeling. I have that really bad feeling that we might need to already say bye-bye to this map. It's a little bit early to say so. Okay, you need to see... That's not a thing to do, but 11-1 and AVANGAR continuously not looking brilliant. And when it comes down to VP and AVANGAR, especially on this map... I mean, Train... That's actually Virtus.pro switching over to their favorite sites. byali finding Buster. The situation itself is already favorable. And as we see, 24 onto pashaBiceps. MICHU, on the other hand, though, is actually called MICHU. I'm doing that wrong the entire time. Either way, 3-7. And that 3-7, that's a big ouch. The newest edition, you know, and many people say Virtus.pro is too old. Virtus.pro, you know, they're just all at the age where they should coach or something. And when then that is the case right here, it's a total other way around. Kind of odd, but also nice to watch. As the legend himself is back on the right track, whilst AVANGAR is far away from even finding a path. 45 more seconds. The B side is clear. Virtus.pro is going to take it. And 11-1 turns over to a 12-1. AVANGAR, their first half far away from decent, and KrizzeN, who's been a hero back on Mirage, well, he doesn't deliver us what he's usually known for. I mean, during the first map, we had in total a 16-free scoreline. So if my quick maths are working right, 19 rounds in total we have seen. In 19 rounds, KrizzeN was able to pick up 24 frags. Right now, we're in 13 rounds. He has picked up, well, 6. Jame. Oh. A lucky Russian man he is, as a nade directly detonates in front of his face, but he's lucky enough to survive with a single point of health. At single point of health. Well. Brings the all back into his hands for the upcoming round, and this round especially, where AVANGAR should try to start doing something. It doesn't change too much anymore, but you know, there would be a German saying, but I'd rather not do a German saying translated in English because it doesn't make any sense in the end, or it sounds horrible, and then you think, German English casters, how is that even a legit thing? That's what's happening right now. Pasha finds himself the one onto KrizzeN. 60 seconds are left on the clock. Silence around the map. Virtus.pro decides to frag onto KrizzeN. Not doing too much about it. Qikert there back on the side. Finds himself a first. MICHU round the corner. He's suddenly running out of bullets in that clip. Bomb's going to be down. Pasha is not to be stopped. Buster, though, slams the brakes here. Snax on his own has to clean it somehow out. Needs to show us that 1 point for AVANGAR is the only thing they're getting. He's pulling through. No chance to make that defusal happening. In case Snax would be fast enough, but that's working either way. Buster takes him out. 2-12. Still, we got ourselves a 10-round difference. That 10-round difference. Probably wouldn't have expected it to be that close. I mean, it's the same storyline previously. We didn't expect that Virtus.pro would have such a horrible result back there onto Mirage, and also we wouldn't expect that AVANGAR has such a result on this map. KrizzeN finds himself a double, not much more he's getting. Qikert as well as Buster are the only ones to have the opportunity to secure the third one for the team. Qikert with the right spray, Pasha onto his own. The thing is, can he clutch it out for his team? Doesn't hit the shot there. And then Buster finds him in the end. 12-3, AVANGAR still have the opportunity to get into this. But they first of all need to stop Virtus.pro from getting that pistol and the following up ones, because otherwise... Yeah, I personally think that there's not much more to do. Usually you have that kind of faith in teams, you know, you usually expect that they would have the good opportunity to bring it back, but at that point in time, 12-3, Virtus.pro possibly winning the pistol round. Yeah, we're probably then going on to cash. And this is a tournament where Virtus.pro needs to prove themselves that they're still kind of relevant. Sure, this team has like legends, big names, the ones you always fear on the server, on the roster, but on the other hand, it's not the only thing that matters. Recent results have not been brilliant for Virtus.pro. This is the kind of tournament where he can show us what they're actually made of, and there... Oh, dimasick kills his own teammate in the process of killing KrizzeN. Qikert, though, gets down. 3 versus 3 back is. MICHU just tapping away Buster casually. So it's only 2 more aggressors alive. Comes one. Jame is not sure where to put his Glock shots at, as still MICHU. It's at the 88. Oh, Neo rips off that of Qikert. Only Jame alive. byali, MICHU, and Neo are not interested in giving him any more space to the Russian player. As he hides and squats in a corner, scared that his head will be plucked off. Scared for a reason. MICHU gets him down 13-3, and this is the scenario you don't want to have. 100% uncomfortable it probably is right now for AVANGAR. Those pistols, I mean, momentum is something you can try to do with it, besides Jame, of course. .120 left in the clock. They're still fairly slow with those pistols. AVANGAR doesn't go full throttle here, rather slow it down a little. Trying to find an entry, trying to find any kind of mistake on the Virtus.pro site, then you're rewarded with a frag and a gun. As we see, the experience tells Virtus.pro we're not really interested in taking any aggression towards Ivy, any aggression towards Popdog. We stay back where we belong. Let you young guns run in. So far, that strategy is working out. 45 more seconds. dimasick coming in from Ivy, where MICHU holds the angle. And as the time ticks away, any bit of control now has to be taken by AVANGAR. Otherwise, they might have a bit of a time pressure problem coming at them. There comes the first. Snax hits it onto KrizzeN. Snax hits it onto qikert. And Snax could just finish it off there with the pistol as well. He does pick up a triple. As that is the perfect situation now for Virtus.pro. Shutting down that force buy round. Jane, to be the only one alive, wants to stick his scout and rather rotates away. Is he interested in rotating away? Does he want to take down Neo? He does, but unfortunately doesn't hit his shot. So runs back into CT in the corner, where he hopes no one can hunt him down. That's not the situation. 14-3 it is. And Virtus.pro once more dominant and strong. Polish site doesn't even show a sign of weakness yet, and that's a bitter pill to swallow for AVANGAR, as they could have had the opportunity to 2-0 this directly, be out of the server, be out of the venue today, and just come back tomorrow, play that BO5. KrizzeN finding himself Snax. It's a beautiful shot to do, but MICHU extend to the man advantage. Now over to Virtus.pro while the Flames are on the feet of qikert. He hits himself a nice one onto pasha, but can't do it there onto Neo in the end. There's no stopping right now with the defender off electric. But Buster on his own can be the only one who holds off that match point. There we go, 15-3. A difference of, in total, oh no, not my quick maths, 12 rounds. That's one of the few things I've never been good at school. Math. Sad story, but it helps me with Counter-Strike, with calculating economy and things like that. Either way, Virtus.pro, double up setup, rifles onto every single individual, plus a great bit of utility into screams for a 16-3 victory right here with KrizzeN eating up that grenade. Seems like there's no option for AVANGAR to prevail somehow. Sinister it is, and sinister it might end. Kazakhstan Russian team on map number 2, after they've shown us how good they can play Mirage, how much you need to be cautious when you're playing Mirage against them. But they couldn't be on the scene right now. Not a single time, neither on CT nor T site. They were delivering us that performance we were looking for. Goes deep, very painful it is. pasha hitting a shot onto Buster. Looks like they're getting MICHU. 4 versus 4 still establish a time though running out here for AVANGAR. The only one flanking around is dimasick. Doesn't seem to be expected at the moment. As Neodo comes around the corner and then rips his head off. AVANGAR. TikTok it is. And that TikTok gets faster and faster and faster. byali finding himself qikert. Jame has to make the move. Jame gets taken out. KrizzeN with a scout. And probably not too much success we can expect at that point in time, as there is 25 more seconds left. And the Polish basketball player Snax is ruling it out. 16-3 on map number 2. 1-1 it is. We're going into our first